Tuesday lunch with the award-winning loose women. Only one day. Now, what do you do when your 11-year-old son shows an outstanding talent for ballet, but you can't afford to send him to the dance school of his dreams? Well, that was the dilemma facing one couple from a Welsh mining village who decided to make the ultimate sacrifice and sell their home to pay for the £22,000 a year school fees. Would you have done the same thing? Is it a parent's responsibility to make whatever sacrifices they can for the good of their kids?
Well, I wouldn't. I think that is... Yeah, of course you have to make sacrifices when you have children, but, you know, I think basic sacrifices are, you know, your life has changed, it's different, but selling your home to send them to ballet school. Now, the pressure on that child is awful because, you know, they've sold the house, all that money's going into the school. What if he changed his money, doesn't like it, or he's no good, you know?
What if he fails?
And the poor kid, yeah, it's like, oh, I feel responsible for us being homeless now. You know, the thing is with kids, and you see it a lot, actually, with a lot of pushy parents, you know, pushing their kids into, OK, yeah, if you notice a talent, that's fine. If you can afford it, brilliant. But if you can't, you know, kids really only need, in my view, and I know everyone's just going to start on me because I don't have kids, but, you know, I was one once. I still am one. But all they need, really, is, you know, they need love, attention, discipline, and an egg box to play with. That's it. That's all they need.
Yeah,
you know, then they grow up very well adjusted.
I'm going to remember that Christmas with my kids. They're going to get 3 egg boxes. And I'm going to look at that sacrifice I made, children.
They'll be happy.
Utterly wrong.
I'm not.
Very unfair to say, oh, pushy parents. I've read that has said they're pushy parents. They're not forcing him to do it. He hasn't love for ballet. That's all he wants to do. Apparently, he's been told by this college and everything that he's brilliant. Even the neighbours are getting involved in raising money to send him. So it's obviously a talent. It's almost like the Billy Elliot story, isn't it? And I just think if your kid has got a talent, why not encourage it? You know what I mean? And if they're willing to do that, you know, we talk about in our day, you know, our mum and dad couldn't afford to do this and couldn't afford to do that, and they really couldn't, but they made sacrifices even in those days, didn't they? You know, you with your one baked bean on toast.
Yeah, exactly.
Sick of hearing it. But, you know, they made sacrifices. Then I think as a parent, you just... I don't think, oh, I'm going to sacrifice this and my kids better thank me for it.
Would you sell your home?
I think I would do, if I thought one of my kids had an amazing talent that could change their lives and I could help them, and if that meant, you know, all right, they're not selling their home and they're living on the streets, they've sold their home and they've moved in with other family members till they get a smaller home and all of that. Well, if he doesn't, but you've taken that chance, what if he does? What if you don't do it? Later on, he goes, I've got no dreams left, and he ends up in a job that he hates, and you think, God, we should have just helped him. You can't just say do something else.
Well, you can. I remember being on a show that I used to host called Star for Night, and there was a very young, very talented young girl on there, and everybody was saying, gosh, she's marvellous, what a brilliant singer this girl is, and everybody was like, whoa, gosh. And she came into my dressing room and sat behind me one day, and she says, I really don't want to do this. I enjoy singing, but I want to be a maths teacher. And she said, well, you help me tell everybody that I don't want to do it. And I think we sometimes push kids a little bit too much because the kids,
some parents
they do,
not all parents.
Yeah, but if they have got a talent, it's up to them what they do with it. And I think we can't sacrifice, especially if you've got more than one child in a family. It's very difficult to push everything onto one because the others feel a little bit left out. And kids change their minds. And I always say this, cream always rises to the top. Whether you sell your house or you don't, if they're determined they're going to do it, they will do it. They will do it.
And also I think as well that the priority, I think that kind of goes along with what you say, Jane, is if are there siblings involved? How, you know, will they suffer that because, you know, they're not in as nice a house or not in the same area as all their friends, or how is it going to impact them? And I think the most important thing, actually, if parents can do is for their kids is to be a little bit selfish and protect the marriage. First and foremost of the parents is to protect the relationship, because that is the home. It's not bricks and mortar. That's the home, isn't it? Is the parents bringing you up. And I think if you're putting your incredible financial strain on the whole family and on the parents, I don't know that you're doing your kids a big favour.
Yeah, but also you can't always realise kids' dreams, you know, and you hear it all the time on the X Factor. It's like, oh, it's my dream, it's my dream. Yeah, that's what it is, it's a dream. You know, it's not going to come true. Sometimes life is hard. It's hard, and you've got to go through those hard knocks in order to survive. You know, you can't always say, your parents can't always say, you know, oh, that's your dream, oh, let's realise it, because you go through life not knowing that sometimes you can't have something.
Just an egg box.
An egg box. Just give me an egg box and I'm
Competition time. Fancy getting your hands on a whopping £10,000 to spend at Marks and Spencer's? Yes. Well, to be in with a chance of winning, you need to answer this question correctly. A patisserie is known for selling which of the following? Is it A, fruit and vegetables, B, newspapers and magazines, or C, cakes and pastries? Call 09012 931 941. Calls cost £1 from BT landlines. Call from other networks may be higher, and for mobiles will be considerably more. Text A, B or C to 63303. Text cost £1 plus one standard network rate message. Digital satellite viewers can enter by pressing their red button now, and you can also enter for free at itv.com. Entrance must be 18 or over. All lines close at 10 a.m. on Saturday, 13th of September. Entries made after this time won't be counted but may still be charged. Now our next guest has encountered almost every type of guest you could imagine and is never far from the stories of the day as a presenter on GMTV. But she's been making headlines herself of late with the controversial subject matter of her new TV documentary that airs tonight.
Have you always been a big fan of breastfeeding?
Yes.
You are?
You definitely were. You are. Now he just plays.
Feeding one baby was a challenge for me, but Elizabeth's soon on to twin number 2. I was hoping that some of the friends that she cross-feeds with would come along and speak to me, but they didn't want to go public for fear of being judged.
I certainly wouldn't have wanted anybody else to breastfeed my little girl. That would have seemed like a very intimate thing to me.
Yeah.
Why do you think people's reactions are? Oh, no. Where do you think that comes from?
Because it's sucking part of your body. And
Please welcome Kate Garraway.
Lower. Quite comfy now. Oh, I just got leggier. Brilliant.
So tell us the premise of the programme. It's fairly controversial.
It is. So the premise of the programme is that we, I guess, all kind of understand that breast is best, don't we? That the kind of, not in the context of a loose women, breast is best. Or indeed you. But in terms of breastfeeding our babies, we know that that's kind of a good idea. But these women have taken it a step further, so they wouldn't touch formula or cow's milk under any circumstances. They'd rather have their friend, their sister, their aunt, their grandma, somebody they just met, breastfeed their babies, and they're happy to share their milk with other people because they think it's better. And their argument is, because initially you think, oh my goodness, weird, freakish, odd. But then their argument is, well, why are we so comfortable with giving our babies milk from a cow, which is after all a different species? Why are we so comfortable with that?
We don't stick it on the cow, though, do we?
No, we don't. And some of the women did.
But who knows what's in it as well? Who knows what's
we don't know what's in it.
Milk?
We don't know what's. Why are we so disgusted with that? Why are we so disgusted with women giving their milk to our babies? Why is that such a
when I first read about this, I actually, not having kids and not ever having thought about doing anything like that, I just thought, well, I don't see what the problem is, really.